Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 essentially revived the entire Dragon Ball gaming experience. Because instead of making a story mode about the same Dragon Ball story that we've watched for years, played through for years, Dragon Ball Xenoverse said, what if? What if every moment in Dragon Ball, moments that you know like the back of your hand, changed into something new, something that you've never seen before? And this new story was not something we just had to watch from the cup chair. No, we got to make our own unique avatars and play through it ourselves. Off that alone, the Xenoverse series might be the greatest Dragon Ball game franchise of all time. And when Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 got announced, I was thinking that this wouldn't just be an addition to the amazing story and concept of Xenoverse. It would be like an evolution to that. But instead of getting an evolution, we got purple! Purple! The literal exact same thing in the show, but purple! Again, the same thing, but purple! What could have been infinite possibilities for the greatest what-if scenarios, what-if characters to ever grace Dragon Ball games just became making some guy purple and or just adding some guy that wasn't there originally. And usually the guy they're adding doesn't have any significant value when it comes to being there. Like, why is Metal Cooler at the Cell games? That is so random. But sometimes it does make sense, like having Cooler in Frieza. That makes a whole lot of sense. And you know, having Cooler for a third time in Resurrection of F is kind of pushing it. That's a bit much. But that's still better than having Broly show up in the Buu Saga in the Majin Vegeta versus Goku fight. And Goku was gonna acknowledge that Broly was there, but Vegeta just cut him off and they ignore him for like the rest of the arc. But it's cool, whenever we beat him, we go on to fight Super Buu with Gohan. And why is Broly back? Xenoverse, if you want Broly in the Buu Saga that badly, then maybe have Buu absorb him. That would be something really, really cool. Instead of just giving him a purple aura and making him just be there just to get beat. He actually adds nothing to being there. And that's kind of the biggest problem with the what ifs in Xenoverse, and that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video of how Xenoverse 3 can save what ifs. And before we fully get into this, I want to say that Xenoverse has good what ifs. I'm not saying that Xenoverse literally has no good what ifs. Future Saga 3 has one of the coolest things ever. A Supreme Kai of Time Frieza storyline. That is amazing. That is so creative and amazing. The problem is just that the heavy majority of the what ifs are just really purple guys and adding a character for some reason, like, which is really bad. So we're gonna go over some what ifs that I think they could have done instead, and some of the ones I just really want in Xenoverse 3 in general. So we're gonna start with one of the first DLC packs in the game, Super Pack 4. And don't get me wrong, when this thing first came out, this was amazing. The trailer for it was amazing. The CGI cutscenes in this pack were so beautiful to look at. And the Fuse Zamasu final boss was so difficult. Like, it was actually so funny seeing everyone struggle to beat him. But the one problem with this DLC, other than us not getting Super Saiyan Rage Trunks as a preset, that's so weird, is that it's pretty much the exact same thing we saw in the anime. And in a game like Xenoverse, that's the one thing that we should never do. Xenoverse is all about the infinite possibilities of what could have happened, with the influence of crazy time hoppers going around changing history. But there was one moment in the story that really was different from the anime, and that's when Turles showed up. And again, you know, this is an obvious thing they could do. The first Goku Black or the first Evil Goku with the new Evil Goku, that's cool, that's fine. But then randomly they have like a bunch of other evil niggas show up, like, why is Lord Slug here? Why is Broly here? Okay, maybe Broly makes sense because they all look like Kakarot, but why the f is Metal Cooler back again? Also, side note, isn't it really weird that Turles and Lord Slug were supposed to be like the main underlings of Mira and Toa, but they got bodied by us in like the early Namek Saga? Honestly, I would really love if they would bring back them in Xenoverse 3. Give Slug like some evil Orange Piccolo type of form. But Orange Piccolo uses the Dragon Balls as his colors, so maybe Slug can get the Black Star or the Shadow Dragon Balls, or maybe some new type of evil Dragon Balls that will be in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Give Turles, I don't know, Diamond Super Saiyan 4 just to make him different from all the other God form stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. But in my opinion, this scene right here of a new guy showing up could have been completely different, and we could have gotten one of the greatest what-if storylines to ever grace Dragon Ball ever. The character that should have been here is...
お前も俺の奴隷となるのだ。とうとう
Baby Vegeta. Oh my goodness, this would have been crazy. And I'm sure I don't have to explain to you why this would fit so well and be so cool. I mean, Baby, Zamasu, both the best villains in their series. Both are body snatchers. And most importantly, both have the components needed to make Vegito. So you know exactly where I'm going with this. So imagine you're playing the DLC. Goku Black is trying to fuse with Zamasu, but he can't because Zamasu has been sealed away with the Mafuba. So he has to fuse with somebody else. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down right now, bro. Now, some of you may argue that it's like a little bit too convenient to kind of change the story to have it fit the what if, but Xenoverse has already done something like this, and I'm going to show you. So in the Resurrection of F Saga, they made a change to the wishes. Originally, they revived Frieza, then the Pilaf gang used the other wish for money, right? But in Xenoverse 2, they used the second wish to revive Cooler so Cooler could be there in the first place, alright? So this type of stuff is fair game and on the table. But let's get back to the what if, alright? Y'all know what I'm cooking. Goku Black is gonna have to fuse with Baby Vegeta, creating Baby Vegito Black. Oh my goodness, imagine how crazy this would have been. This would have been generational, dude. And listen, it's not like Fuse Zamasu was weak at all or anything. He was actually doing pretty well against Vegito. And you know, if I want to be a nerd power scaler, I would say that Zamasu was stronger than Baby Vegeta. But for this what if, you know, using some cool Xenoverse 2 logic, and we're gonna have Baby Vegito Black putting the hands on Vegito in your CAC. So you really gotta work together to get this dub. And this guy is gonna be very, very tough. Just as tough as the corrupted Zamasu was in the official DLC, but with more unique, cool moves, dude. Like imagine an evil Big Bang Kamehameha. And you're probably wondering, Ramhatcher, why are you showing the final Kamehameha if you said Big Bang Kamehameha? Well, just watch this clip. Baby needs to check Vegeta's memories again because he did not get that attack name right at all. But whether it's an evil Big Bang Kamehameha, an evil Final Kamehameha, I don't really care that much about that. Make that a super attack. But what I am going to need is a combination of Revenge Death Ball and Divine Wrath, and also do something with Lightning of Absolution, put Revenge on the name, make the lightning all evil and black and dark and mysterious.
Oh, Lord, don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things.
And my really unique ultimate idea for this fusion is a combination of the Divine Lasso and Baby's heat-seeking Ki Blast that will come after you even if they miss. Pretty much Blades of Judgment on steroids. And there's also the Gigantic Crow, there's the Keyblade moves, and you know, it could end there. That could be the end of it, you know, but I like to go a little bit further with things, man. And you know, we have Baby Vegeta, a Saiyan, we have Goku Black, the body of a Saiyan. Just give us Baby Vegito Black Grade A. Just give it to us, bro. Come on. You can do it easily. All we need is some blood waves, bro. Come on. And you know, if I was a crazy person, an insane person, I would have, you know, some crazy idea of like, oh, well, Baby can't go Super Saiyan 4 because his Tuffle cells are getting in the way of it. But if he were to hypothetically fuse with a full-blooded Saiyan, then maybe he would have enough Saiyan cells to still go Super Saiyan 4. And then, you know, maybe we could get like a hypothetical Super Saiyan 4 Baby Vegito Black. I'm doing too much. I'm sorry, audience. Also, because Baby and Goku Black are not Kais, they could actually low-key be winning this battle in the story mode, but just unfused the same way Vegito Blue did. Imagine just like surviving this OP monster winning by the skin of our teeth. Also, before any of you guys say, actually, Ramhatcher, Baby was not in the game when that DLC came out. You're right. Because someone else was in the game that shouldn't have been there. His name is Bojack. Why was Bojack in that DLC? I don't know why they released Bojack in that DLC pack. Actually, I do know why. Listen, what they did, Dimps talked to Toriyama like 8 years before Daima came out. And they were like, Toriyama, who should we add in this DLC with two Zamasus? And Toriyama was like, oh, well, I'm going to make this series called Dragon Ball Daima in like 8 to 9 years. And then I'm going to reveal that all the pointy-eared races are actually from the Demon Realm. So actually, Bojack and Zamasu, Akai, are both Demon Realm races, and that's how they would fit together. But on to the next what if, and we're gonna go with another DLC, and we're gonna go with the Cell Max DLC. And okay, it's a Cell Max DLC. You know where I'm going with this. we're gonna make Perfect Cell Max, okay? But listen, we're gonna make it in a way that actually makes sense. And yes, to all my fellow nerds, we know that quote-unquote perfect Cell Max does not exist. Cell Max was already physically complete in DBS Superhero. He was only missing his brain, so he was like really dumb. But in this storyline, either because he had enough time or because they used some type of demon crystal or demon magic, Cell Max will have his brain and be able to fight at 100% efficiency. And if you think that's outlandish, please rewatch some Xenoverse DLC cutscenes, because Deborah used like regular time-breaker demon magic to turn Baby into a Great Ape, and in that same DLC, Fu used a Demon Realm Crystal to turn base Vegeta into Super Saiyan 4, so crazier stuff has happened. But the reason why Cell Max having the brain will make him so much more dangerous, other than like key control stuff, but that's for nerds, is that he would be able to regenerate stuff. Because remember, the Namekians have to actively regenerate, and Cell, our Cell that had a complete brain, didn't know he could regenerate until after he fought Piccolo. So imagine we beat Cell Max somehow, but then he regenerates. And remember, Cell Max has Saiyan DNA. So we beat him, he regenerates, he comes back, and just like in the original, he's gonna come back with a power amp similar to Gohan's, you know. And the reason he's able to change his size so drastically is because he can use a mixture of his Namekian cells and his Frieza Ray cells. And we've only seen the Namekians grow super big, but Frieza races can grow big or small, so he can kind of just combine those powers, you know, and just look completely different too. So Cell Max will use a combination of those with his new Zenkai boost to transform into a pseudo perfect form. And listen, dude, and I know this sounds like super crazy and stupid, but like this is unironically really possible, especially with like Demon Realm crystals. Like, dude, this could easily happen. Also, to make this make a little bit more sense, in the beginning of the DLC, you fight against like evil purple perfect Cell. So maybe instead of having that be a separate fight, you can fight Cell Max and that Cell at the same time. So Cell Max can like see that version of Cell and try to emulate the appearance of Perfect Cell. I think that would be really cool. Also, it would give us a really cool chance to have dialogue between a Cell Max that's fully conscious and a Perfect Cell. And again, that DLC was already really cool because we had Android 21, Gamma 1 and 2, Android 16, Dr. Hedo, Fu, all talking to each other. So imagine the same way how that side of the Dr. Gero family got to talk to each other, we can see this side talk to each other with Cell and Cell Max. Just come on, give me my cool DeviantArt Pinterest Perfect Cell Max design, bro. I want it, bro. I want it. Also, Dimps, please add the destroyed Red Ribbon Army base. Please. That map just looks amazing. Now, for the last what if, I think this idea is really down to earth, and this is like really possible for like a potential thing that they could do, right? So, with the Future Saga, we're seeing a lot of really cool manga material references, right? So, Ultra Ego Vegeta, obvious reference right there. I love that a lot. Black Frieza, that reference, I love that a lot too. Really cool. Now, the next character I think we could reference is the manga version of Broly with his controlled Super Saiyan form. So basically, we're gonna do a different version of Battle of Gods. Instead of Beerus finding Goku and fighting him, we're gonna have it to where Beerus finds Broly. So I'm thinking that Fu can use his powers on the Oracle Fish. The Oracle Fish can tell Beerus that there's this really extremely strong Saiyan on a planet called Vampa. Beerus goes there, then our CAC has to go there because, you know, a battle between Beerus and Broly can go crazy. We don't want Broly to die, so we fight Broly ourselves. We beat Broly into base form, but Beerus sees how strong Broly is. So he takes Broly to his planet, Whis trains him, and after that, Broly gets his controlled Super Saiyan full power form. And listen, potentially maybe this is how we can get a Planet Vampa map, a Beerus Planet map. And listen, every Dragon Ball game needs to have the Beerus Planet map like as a base game thing, bro. It's so cool with the gigantic lake, the forest, the gigantic tree. Like, it is such a great map. We need that in all the games. That pretty much is it for this video though. I do have way more what if ideas, so I'll definitely make like a part 2. If you guys have some pretty cool ideas in the comment section, leave them down of things that you want to see in Xenoverse 3 when it comes to what if characters and stuff. Now, the Xenoverse 2 developers have stated they don't really want to put in Dragon Ball Heroes content in Xenoverse, which is fine. It's whatever. We can still get really cool what if ideas that they haven't done, and you know, stuff like Supreme Kaitan Frieza. That's really cool. So we can still get some amazing ideas, guys. We're going to be just fine. Hashtag we want Xenoverse 3. Hashtag make Xenoverse 3 great. I will see you guys later. God bless. Keep doing your best because I am too.